Football is a sport that is full of drama, emotion, and heartache. And one such famous drama happened in the Premier League game almost 2 decades ago. The battle for 4th place in the 2005-2006 Premier League season came down to the wire, with Arsenal and Tottenham going head-to-head for the chance to enter the lucrative Champions League qualifying round. Tottenham Hotspur, also known as Spurs, held a 1-point lead over Arsenal in the Premier League. This game was critical for Tottenham since it provided a chance to qualify for Europe's top competition for the first time since 1962. However, fate had other plans, leading to an event called Lasagna Gate, which had fans and players alike questioning if the famed dish cost Tottenham the Champions League. So, today on Football Brothers, we'll see, did lasagna cost Tottenham the Champions League? Let's dive into it. Tottenham has been accused of squandering many crucial games. In 2015-16, they finished 3rd in a 2-horse race. Again, they blundered in the Champions League in 2016-2017 and then lost to Genk in the Europa League. Yes, it's sad, but after seeing Tottenham's collapse against his Juventus team in 2018, Giorgio Chiellini famously quipped, "It's the history of Tottenham." The term Spursy refers to someone who bottles something. Their mindset has been a major issue in the past, but it was a shady batch of pasta that saw Spurs tumble to the ground in the top 4 race of 2005-06. A season on the brink. As the 2005-2006 Premier League season reached its climax, the intensity was palpable. Arsenal and Tottenham were neck and neck, battling for 4th place. The team finishing in this position would secure a spot in the Champions League qualifiers, a coveted opportunity for clubs looking to showcase their prowess on the European stage. Both sets of fans were living on the edge, eager for their teams to secure a top 4 finish. Martin Jol led his team to West Ham with confidence. He'd just welcomed back striker Robbie Keane, a midfielder Michael Carrick from injury, and was up against a Hammers team that was going to rest a few key players ahead of their FA Cup final against Liverpool. The dramatic last day, the penultimate game of the season, set the stage for an unforgettable final day. Tottenham secured a 1-0 victory over Bolton, putting them in a favorable position ahead of the final fixture. Arsenal, on the other hand, had already made it to the Champions League final, guaranteeing them qualification regardless of their league finish. This meant that if Tottenham matched or bettered Arsenal's results on the last day, they would qualify for the Champions League. Joel had his team stay in the Marriott West India Quay Hotel the night before the game, hoping to give the occasion the big game atmosphere it merited. The players, who were expecting to stay at home that night as usual, agreed. The hotel employees prepared a buffet for the squad, which included some beautiful, tasty lasagna. Remember, this lasagna has a huge role to play later. Around 1 a.m., Spurs players began to call in ill. According to reports, up to 10 members of the first team squad puked all night. Yeah, sounds gross and somewhat exhausting to puke all night, but Joel later admitted that the situation was significantly worse. Well, that's concerning. Joel said, "I can sum up the players who were not sick. There was Paul Robinson, Stephen Kelly, Anthony Gardner, and Jermaine Defoe, and the rest were sick, so we had to call for some reserve players." Spurs CEO Daniel Levy immediately called the Premier League to request a postponement as the scope of the vomit rampage became clear, but was quickly denied. Spurs were invited not to attend, but their absence would be investigated and they could be punished points, as Middlesbrough did in 1996-97 when they determined a bug was too significant for them to participate. Maybe a compromise was in order? Joel was happy to play that day, but he wanted the game moved from 3 to 7 p.m., which the police refused. Fans rushed into the neighborhood pubs as soon as they opened their doors, and authorities concluded it was not safe to postpone the game. It had to be 3 p.m. Spurs had no choice but to play. Jermaine Jenas recalls in a Yahoo post, "A lot of the lads were running on empty. Literally. Players were sick in the restrooms even as Coach Martin Jol was giving his team a talk before the game. When the game began, players physically ran off the field. It was a bloodbath. Tottenham were a shattered team before the game, and they were under pressure early on when Arsenal took an 8th-minute lead against Wigan. Carl Fletcher scored a fantastic opener for West Ham 2 minutes later, and they were behind. Defoe tied the game up before the break, and with Arsenal drawing, there was a sense that Spurs had escaped with a draw. Unfortunately, Thierry Henry's second half brace meant Spurs had to win, and they did not. Yossi Benayoun wove his way past Michael Dawson before unleashing the game-winning shot in the 80th minute. Spurs collapsed to the ground as a result of emotional and physical tiredness. They couldn't stand another second of this. It was indeed heart-wrenching. Janice recalled, "By the end of it, we felt so horrible that the fact that we had just lost the Champions League to Arsenal on the last day of the season, with West Ham in the next room having the biggest party ever. The scandal's aftermath was chaotic." Spurs called the police and trading standards after allegations that someone at West Ham had purposely poisoned them, but no foul play was found. The food was cleared, and the final judgment was that the Spurs squad had been infected with a virus which no one believed. But Spurs ate some filthy pasta, and it cost them a place in the Champions League. We should quote Joel here. He said, "We had 10 players feeling sick overnight. We asked to postpone the game for 24 hours, but we didn't want to risk sanctions. We took a gamble, but I think you saw we weren't strong enough. It's always a thought that maybe we could have done better with a fit squad, but I have to say to myself that it's all in the game. We're gutted." Given Tottenham's sad loss, Joel's choice of words seemed somewhat ironic. The saga did not end there, as Tottenham approached the Premier League to request a rematch. Their plea went unheard, and Spurs were insulted by their toughest rivals. As the days, weeks, and months passed, Lasagna Gates, as the episode became to be known, became ingrained in Tottenham mythology. Food poisoning is still thought to be the root of Spurs' problems, although a health protection agency inquiry revealed no abnormalities with the food supplied at the Marriott Hotel. Colin Perrins, head of Tower Hamlets Trading Standards and Environmental Health, said none of the results or findings indicated that food poisoning was the cause. Also, Alex Mellenby, consultant in communicable disease control at the Health Protection Agency, said, "The only positive finding in this investigation identifies neurovirus, a form of viral gastroenteritis, as the cause of the outbreak." Tottenham did qualify for the Champions League in 2010, but Timo Tiano had already left. Tiano expressed his sadness in a 2012 interview. He said, "You go into the last game and know that victory would secure a Champions League place, so we were in control. Then this episode came up. Everyone got sick, and we had a fair chance to win the game, but we didn't. It is still the biggest disappointment of my career." Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video about the whole Lasagna Gate saga. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Until next time, keep watching.